No Doubt is back with a brand new album, only to pull their recent music video, Looking Hot, their new single, from the internet immediately because people were up in arms claiming that the content was offensive, especially the Native American organization. If you haven't seen the music video, I saw it. It basically features Gwen Stefani looking really hot, but she's dressed in very theatrical rendition of an Indian.
She looks like Tiger Lily.
Also, this video was released in November, which is Native American History Month. Yeah, it is. Okay, thoughts, 5 words or less?
No doubt this is silly.
No speak, me no feel.
I feel bad for No Doubt.
Native-inspired fashion is in. It's really in right now. I mean, you can all agree if you look at magazines, if you look at if you go into any store. So I think for Gwen Stefani, she's very fashion forward. She was just trying to have like a magnification of this trend in her video.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I feel like no matter what it is about Native Americans, something that comes up, they will get offended and complain about it no matter what. And I am 1/8 Cherokee and I don't ever complain about nothing.
Because you were raised white.
This is, this is
Yes,
just like Native Americans. Take, slash and burn.
Yeah.
Leave white people with something.
Take our land, they take all our shit.
Good God.
No.
I just think we need to have a conversation about Native American stuff. Like, we know that blackface is inappropriate.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, you know, I'm, half Jewish, so if someone dressed up as a Hasidic Jew, would it offend me? And I'm like, no one would ever want to do that.
No.
And so I just think that
They just look like a hitman with a hat on.
It's just like,
Yes.
So we just need to figure out, like, someone needs to sit once and for all and figure this out. Because, like, the Florida State people dress up like Seminoles every Saturday, and a main person in the Seminole Nation is like, that's fine.
I think that's a very valid point because when I watched, there was one little part in the video that made me a little uncomfortable. She is tied up, like the Indian tied up, and that was a little weird. But other than that, it's so theatrical, the makeup and the costumes, that it kind of reminded me of like a runway show. They do the same thing. They pull from cultures and they take the fashion inspired from that. So I didn't find it offensive. I think we're being too politically correct here.
I think so too, completely. And if you want to talk about something being racist, I think the most racist thing I've ever seen was like Peter Pan the cartoon against Native Americans. That was insane.
Yeah,
and
like
nobody talks about why is the red man red? Like talk about nobody talks about that, but they're talking about freaking Gwen Stefani trying to be all fashion
and it was
forward.
so over the top. The video's so over the top. I think if it was more of like a depiction of Native Americans, that it wouldn't be so theatrically
But then, like, what's the
top.
converse of that? Like, what if it was like African slaves being whipped and shit? Like, I'm not.
That would be wrong.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's
would,
like to them, I think it's the equivalent of that.
Right.
I think personally, I think all of us are just like, oh, this is so silly. Why does anybody care? But I think to them, it's like the equivalent of that, and they're like, oh shit, this is really brutal.
I think it's all to add to that is it's generic. It's a generic idea of a Native American.
It's very generic, very
stereotypical. With, like, Illinois even retired the Illini, but that was the Illini. That's a specific tribe, and the Seminoles are the Seminoles. That is one thing. I still don't understand how you have the Washington Redskins in our nation's capital.
Do you think that they should have pulled the video?
If I were them, I wouldn't have pulled the video, but they did. And
I think
honestly,
it rocked that they did.
Pretty considerate.
Very
I'm not
considerate.
that considerate, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was really big of them to pull it because they want to appease all their fans and they do not want anybody to be offended, especially when it comes to race or someone's heritage.
Yeah. She's also like a fashion icon.
Exactly.
So, but that's the thing
has
is like
lamb.
You got to worry about. You don't have to worry about someone who doesn't have influence using your culture, but if someone with influence is actually using it, then I think it makes more sense to kind of
I do wish in their press release, though, we said, we just want to let everybody know we love feathers and teepees and peace pipes, and saying we say how a lot, and we love Indians so much.
So much. What do you guys think? Do you think that No Doubt should have pulled the video? Did you find the content offensive? We want to know your thoughts. Leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you all next time on Pop Trigger.